Hey yo, what's good everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be doing something a little different compared to our other videos which were chapter reviews. Today we will be doing a video on Aizen and Yhwach and we will be explaining if Aizen and Yhwach were in fact correct. Now, quick little disclaimer before we get into this. If you haven't seen either the Arrancar arc or the Thousand Year Blood War, I suggest that you leave the video so that you don't get spoiled. But if you don't care, then I guess you don't care. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First, we will discuss Aizen's hatred for the Soul King as to why he hates the Soul King in the first place. Now, Aizen believed that the Soul King was the king only in title, but was really just a sad excuse of a figurehead. To understand why this was the case, we have to take a brief history lesson that took place millions upon millions of years ago. During the era of the original world, which preceded the creation of the Soul Society, World of the Living, and Waco Mundo, the Soul King appeared during a time where humans and souls coexisted together, but they were being terrorized and eaten by the Hollows, namely the Menos, causing an imbalance of souls. The Soul King appeared to the people as a being of omnipotence and was their main defense against the Hollows. For that reason, he was regarded as a god to them. However, the way he did things included eradicating the Hollow Soul, just like Quincy's. And as we know, that process can cause its own imbalance of souls over the long term. In response to this, the 5 most powerful souls of that era came together with a resolution. These being the 5 great noble clans. The first soul, who would become the ancestor of the Kuchiki clan, suggested that more order to be established between the souls and the humans to create balance. The second soul, who would become the ancestor of the Shihoin clan, suggested that they should come up with a new system to expand the circulation of souls and the living. The third soul, who would become the ancestor of the Shiba clan, suggested that they should find a method to purify a hollow soul instead of just completely eradicating it. The fourth soul, who would become the ancestor of the shady Suna Yashiro clan, was just outright scared of the Soul King's power, and he believed that if he turned against them one day, that he could kill them all. And the fifth soul suggested that they should cover up the pit of chaos, which would later go on to be known as Hell. The unanimous decision they came up with was to separate the living, the souls, and the hollows into different planes of existence. They would need the power of transcendent beings, the Soul King, to do this. So, the Shiba ancestor was originally against using the Soul King as a linchpin. However, the Suna Yashiro clan, out of fear, insisted that the Soul King be the one, and that he should be sealed inside a crystal. Using the power of the Almighty, the Soul King created the 3 realms while being inside the crystal, and the souls became the governing bodies of these worlds. These worlds were the Soul Society, the World of the Living, and of course Waco Mundo, eventually beginning the tradition of the Shinigami. However, this never rid the Tsuneyashiro's paranoia, and eventually led to them convincing the other great noble families, except for the Shiba, to remove the parts of the Soul King, beginning with his arms and his legs, and eventually his internal organs. They did this via the Issei clan's generational sword. This in turn stripped the Soul King of all his power, turning him from the most powerful being in all of existence into a power source for the three worlds and a slave to the noble families, all the way up until his death in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. The Soul King was a transcendent, omnipotent being, and using the Almighty granted him omniscience. He could see into every possible timeline. This would mean that he would have been known about the family's plan to use and exploit him for his power, yet went along with everything willingly without any form of resistance. Perhaps the question going through Aizen's head was, why would a being with such power subject to such a pitiful existence? Aizen hated that a man with such power would eventually kill himself, knowing that the outcome would be terrible. And in all honesty, he just hated that a being that basically was dead but also alive, basically stuck in a world of limbo, would rule over him. So he wanted to destroy the Soul King and be the Soul King. Alright, so now that we are done talking about Aizen's hatred toward the Soul King, we are going to talk about Yhwach's relation toward the Soul King. Now, the Soul King to Yhwach is actually his father, and we can understand this because Yhwach is the father to all Quincy. And remember, the way that the Soul King would deal with the Hollows was the exact same that the Quincy's would deal with the Hollows. He would eradicate the Hollows' souls, which led to the imbalance of the souls in the long run. But Yhwach didn't really hate the Soul King as a person. He hated the state that he was in. He hated, just like Aizen, he hated the fact that he was omniscient. He hated that even though he could see in the future, he didn't know why he would become the linchpin of the three realms of the universe without hesitation nor defiance. He couldn't understand that. He hated what the Soul Society did to his father. They mutilated him. They destroyed his insides and took them out. And he wanted vengeance. So that is why the first war, which started 1,000 years ago, between the Quincy and the Shinigami happened. And that is why the 1,000-Year Blood War takes place a millennia later. So, Yhwach had wanted to kill the Soul King, not out of hatred for his father, but to end his suffering for what the Shinigami had done to him all those years ago. Alright guys, so that's all for today's video. If you liked the video, leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Please, I'm really happy if you stayed all the way to the end of the video. Be sure to share this video so that we can talk more about this stuff and even more later on. And without further ado, goodbye.